Hey everyone, John here, and welcome back to the Toy Box. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a great day. Today, we have a Pokémon Center Sitting Cuties triple threat match. We are going to look at the three base forms of the second and third generation pseudo-legendary Pokemon, and then compare them at the end. We have from Gen 2, Larvitar, and from Gen 3, Bagon and Beldum. So let's get started. We're going to kick things off with one of my favorite rock types ever, and the base form for the pseudo-legendary line of the Johto region, Larvitar. Now, I reviewed Larvitar a year ago when I got it, so if you want to get the full Larvitar experience, I suggest you check that video out. I will put a link in the description. So one of the things I like about Larvitar is how practical it is. Do you have a mountain on your property that needs to be cleared? Do you need to dig a giant hole? Do you need to significantly change the earth for your building needs? Don't hire an expensive contractor. Just catch a Larvitar. They eat dirt and lots of it. And for free. Let's take a look at the plush. So let's start off with Larvitar's head. So first we have Larvitar's horn that comes all the way up here. Now Larvitar's eyes are embroidered. And we have the black markings down here. It could be battle scars, or it could just be how Larvitar's eyes look. We don't know. The eyebrows are right here. Larvitar does have a serious expression on its face. It could be because mine hasn't really eaten a mountain in a while, so I probably should take it to actually eat a mountain. Or maybe just some dirt. That's what they like to eat. Now, Larvitar's body. Now, for a Pokemon that eats a lot of dirt, Larvitar is pretty soft. And this plush is very soft and very cuddly, which is pretty cool. There are several diamonds on this Pokemon for details. We have the main diamond, the red one right here. We have the lines that are sewn in. The edges are embroidered. And we have some black diamonds on the plush as well. These are fully embroidered. There's one. Here's the second one. And there are two in the back. Now, Larvitar's tail, this is one of my favorite features of the plush. So you have the tail right here, and then you have the rest of the tail, which is like a petal pattern around it. Each petal is a pretty thick fabric, so it's pretty sturdy, and it's pretty durable because you can put it down and you can bend it and everything, and it won't deform or get out of shape. So there it is. Here it is from the side so that you can see. Now, Larvitar's arms are pretty short, so the original Pokemon has pretty short arms, so this is pretty accurate. We have, and the arms are stuffed pretty tightly, not as soft as the rest of the plush. And the same goes for the legs. The legs are pretty short as well. Here's one. It has a little claw at the toe in the end, and here's the other leg. Now, all the beams for the sitting part of the Sitting Cuties plush is situated on the bottom right here. So Larvitar can balance pretty easily. And we have the tag right here. Now as far as sitting goes, Larvitar sits pretty easily. Larvitar is pretty as a bottom heavy, so there really is no problem with balancing out this plush. And it sits very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and let Larvitar sit. And once again, if you need to change the landscape of your neighborhood forever and don't have a lot of cash, don't worry, just get a Larvitar. Next, we have Bagon. Now, the third generation of Pokemon was special when it comes to pseudo-legendaries in that we get two. We get Bagon, which eventually evolves into Salamence, and Beldum, which evolves into Metagross. I really like Bagon. It's the Pokemon form of an inspiring story. According to the Pokédex, Bagon have a dream of flying, and it will work hard to achieve that dream. It does not let the fact that it doesn't have wings stop it either. The shell in its head evolved out of necessity because it keeps trying and failing. And one day, its desire alone will trigger a mutation to develop wings, and it will finally achieve its dream of flight. Such a cool story. I love stories like that. Let's take a look at the plush. So the main feature when looking at this plush is to look at the helmet. Now, Pokemon Center did a pretty good job with the plush, and they got all the details right. And let's start with the helmet. Now, the helmet is here in these three pieces up here. And it looks like it's gray, kind of silver. It's hard like steel. It's stuffed pretty tightly as well, so the helmet part is pretty tough compared to the rest of the plush, which is actually pretty cool. You can see the back right here. It looks kind of like a mohawk going into a ponytail, and then the two ridges on the side right here. Now, Bagon's face is right here. The eyes are embroidered. Here's the other one. We have the cheeks, and then we have the teeth. It looks like the teeth are a piece of felt that are attached to the mouth right here. And then we have the yellow underside right here for the mouth. Now, Bagon's arms are pretty short, but they are packed with stuffing. Here's the other arm. You can see him from the side. And Bagon's legs are the same way. They're also pretty short, and they're stuffed pretty tightly. And you can see we have the toes are separated out here just with an embroidered line right here. Here's this. You can see this on the other foot as well. This one doesn't seem to be embroidered. This one does, though. Or maybe not. Not sure. It's hard to tell. So for the body is stuffed pretty tightly as well. Not as much as the head. And again, I think that's a nice touch because the head is supposed to be the hardest part. There aren't a lot of details around because other than the helmet, Bagon is a pretty simply designed Pokemon. We have the yellow underside right here. This underside is where all the pellets are, which for sitting. And then lastly, we have the tag. So here's the front, and here's the back. Then here's the three tags right here. Now for sitting, Bagon also sits pretty easily. One thing you just got to watch out for is Bagon naturally has a rounder bottom, so to get Bagon to sit properly, you just got to flatten it out a little bit, and then you're home free. Well, anyways, we should probably let Bagon get back to its training, and while it does that, let's take a look at Beldum. Lastly, we have Beldum. So I've seen and used Beldum at different times while I've played Pokemon, but I still don't really know what it's supposed to be. I guess the best description would be a Pokemon that resembles an iron joint connected to an arm. It uses magnetism to move around and get things done. All of its moves utilize magnetism in some way. While it is a Beldum, it used to only get one attack, that is Takedown, but these days in Sword and Shield it gets a few more options. If you raise Beldum, you really need to nurture it and take care of it before it can take care of you as a Metagross. And I'll say it again. With these Pokemon that you need to babysit, the evolution must be good. Let's take a look at the plush. So, overall, I would say that I really like the way the Pokémon Center did the details on this plush. Now, Beldum is a steel type, which means it's rock solid, or solid as steel, and it has a lot of different surfaces, a lot of different creases and corners, just like the rock type Pokemon do. And what Pokemon Center does is, in order to show those details where all those corners and creases is supposed to be, they sew in all the details over here. So you can see these going all the way around the plush. And they look like they're pretty deliberate because they all contribute to the shape of the plush. And overall it makes it look really nice. The top of the plush here is pretty stiff, so it seems like either there is some stuffing or that there is another piece inside that actually keeps this part firm. You can see the other side over here. Now we can take a look at the ball. The ball is where most of the details for Beldum are because that's where the eye is. Now the eye is made of a separate piece right here. It's made of a different type of fabric. And the details for the eye are also embroidered right here on that other piece. We have a black border all around, and we have another part embroidered right here. And of course, we have all the lines going around the ball as well. Now, on the underside, you can see Beldum's claws. This looks like a thicker, thick piece of fabric. It feels like felt. And these are the claws that Beldum will actually use to dig itself into cliffs at night to sleep. And then you just have the lines down here to show the arm. So that's pretty good. And we have the tag right here. You turn it around. And then we have the 3 tags. Now, one of the things I wondered when I first got Beldum is, how is Beldum supposed to sit? So let me show you. So all of the pellets are focused right here on the bottom. So this is where Beldum is supposed to sit. And what you need to do is you need to fold the claws out this way to the outside and sit Beldum down just like it's digging into a cliff. And Beldum balances pretty nicely, so you don't have to worry about it falling. Well, anyways, that is our Beldum. So now that we've looked at all 3 plushes, let's bring them all together and do our comparison. Alright, now that we have all 3 of our plushes side by side, it's time to compare them. Now, for Sitting Cuties plushes, there are a few categories I like to look at. So first, there is sitting. I usually test this for all my plushes, but I think it's even more important for Sitting Cuties plushes because that is their name, they're Sitting Cuties plushes. And for these 3 in particular, they're pretty good all around. All of them sit pretty easily, they're nice and balanced, and none of them need the wall for assistance. But the big question is, once they are sitting, will they stay sitting? So for Larvitar, I think this is the most stable one because Larvitar is very bottom heavy. So even if the table shakes, Larvitar will always stay sitting. Now Bagon and Beldum are not going to be the same because they are more top heavy than anything. So if the table were to shake or whatever shelf you put them on shakes, then they'll probably fall. So comparing the 3 of them, I would have to say that Larvitar has the edge for this one. Now, next we can look at the details. One thing I like about Sitting Cuties plushes is that they are extremely detailed. I always think that Pokémon Center does a great job in that respect, and I don't think any of these 3 are an exception. The details are all there, and they're very well done. So we have Larvitar's face, belly, and tail. We have Bagon's helmet, eyes, and cheeks. And we have Beldum's eye, and then all of the stitching for the corners and such. So I think all of these are excellent, and it's a tie. So next there's durability. Now these days I just display the plushes, so they have it easy. But what happens when they're played with a lot? I looked at each plush to see where the potential weaknesses are. Now for Larvitar, the weakness is in the tail, and that is because of how the petals are sewn in over here. If someone is constantly swinging it around, then I can see the tail coming off, or the petals at least. Now for Bagon, the weakness is in the neck. Now, we've had some plushes in the past where we have a big head that's kind of heavy, as well as a bigger body, but a very thin neck to support it. And what will end up happening, and it's already kind of happening with Bagon a little bit, is that the head will start to droop like this. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but if the plush is being played with a lot or being swung around a lot, then what happens is this stitching around the neck to attach the head to the body can come apart, and then you will have a problem. So that's the weakness for Bagon. For Beldum, the weakness is in the claws down here. Now, I've had a lot of plushes that have claws similar to this, or it's either claws or whiskers or tail or something like that. And what happens if you put this in water too much is that this will start to deteriorate. I'm not sure if this is the same material that's been used in the past, but it seems like it's close, and if it's put in water too much, then I can see these deteriorating a bit. Now, as far as which one has the edge here, I would probably have to give the edge to Beldum because the claws are a lot more minor than the tail or the neck. So for that one, I would say that Beldum has to win that round. And lastly, there's firmness. Now, this one really depends on how you guys like your plushes. For me, I like firm plushes, but not too firm, maybe more in the middle. Larvitar is actually a good example of what I like. There is a lot of give, but not too much. The plush is still firm, but it is pretty soft, and that I like. Bagon and Beldum are a bit tougher. There isn't a lot of give to either one. I think Bagon is a little bit firmer than Beldum here. But most of the stuffing is within this ball for Beldum's head and Bagon's helmet. And I like those details because the helmet is supposed to be really tough. So this part being firmer makes a lot of sense to me. But just to sum that up, Larvitar is the softest, and these two are a bit firmer, with the helmet really being the firmest of all of them. So anyways, there we have it. That is a comparison of all three Sitting Cuties plushes. Overall, I love all three of them. I think they're great, and I'm very happy with them. So let's go ahead and let them all sit and rest. Well, this has been the Pokemon Center Larvitar, Bagon, and Beldum Sitting Cuties plushes. What do you guys think of these plushes, and which of these Pokemon do you like best? Let me know in the comments section. If you are interested in adding any of these guys to your collection, I will put links to Pokemon Center in the description. At the time of filming, they are going for $10.99 each. Well, that's all we have for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, rate, subscribe, and don't stop playing.